2018-2019. That translates to a $1.4 million reduction in the amount available to the Bermuda Police Service as it seeks to ensure the island's public safety, a situation Mr. Dunkley feels will result in a diminishing of the ranks of the Bermuda Police Service, which he says is already faced with a high incidence of attrition. Mr. Dunkley contends the smaller budget will threaten public safety and put an increased burden on taxpayers.
So that 425 number will naturally fluctuate down through the year because of attrition, and you've got to pump it up. Very disappointed to see this year that the number that they believe they can get is 412 through the cut in the budget. And I think that means that you will see police officers available to be put on the street. You'll see that number dip below 400, which I think is a critical point and really ties the commissioner's hands in the strategy and plan that he can run. But at the same time, because you cannot tell public safety challenges will get to you tomorrow, it's going to cause the overtime budget to go up. This is a similar mistake that the former government, the PLP, made for a number of years in a row when we found out, because of austerity measures, which the minister mentioned during his budget, that there would be further austerity measures in the Bermuda Police Service. Well, we found out previously in 2009, 2010 with the PLP, they cut the budget and they had significant supplementary estimates of up to $10 million. I think we face the same challenge. And that's very concerning because the public deserve police on the streets and they deserve public safety.
National Security Minister Wayne Keynes counters Mr. Dunkley, saying he is seriously misinformed. He asserts the decision to reduce the BPS budget was not taken in haste and says measures have been put in place to ensure adequate number of officers are available to protect and serve the people of Bermuda.
We're in a period of austerity. We have literal, we don't have vats of money, and so we had to look within the police service and we had to look at ways of trimming the budget. But we were able to trim the budget without affecting operational policing.
So you're saying that the police were asked to look at their budget, so there is buy-in, there is support from the commissioner with this?
The commissioner is in a position where he has to look at the budget. He has to look where there are opportunities to cut the budget and trim the budget. We did have to make cuts to the police budget, but it did not come at the expense of operational policing. Again, the assertion on the junior shadow minister's post was that that the police service will be under 400 members. That is incorrect. The numbers will be 427. There will be a reduction in the police service in specific ways. We went through it line by line during the budget speech. We had an opportunity to have legitimate discourse and conversations around those numbers in the House. There was an appropriate time given for that, and I think we've explained that in the right and appropriate places.
So this decrease in the budget is not going to impact the performance of the Bermuda Police Service?
It will not affect the performance of the Bermuda Police Service at all.
Meanwhile, a well-placed source at the Bermuda Police Service told us a number of officers are set to leave this year due to retirement and non-renewal of contracts. This, they said, could result in numbers dropping below 400. Elsewhere, we're told there is no money in the budget for a recruit course in 2018. In response to those claims, Minister Keynes says there is money in the budget to address recruitment this year, and there is a plan being developed to deal with the impending departure of a number of officers within the next 5 years. Well, Opposition MP Trevor Muniz will be back in the House of Assembly for tomorrow's final sitting before the Easter break. The order paper for tomorrow has Mr. Muniz down to deliver a personal explanation. It is expected this will be in relation to the case brought by the former OBA government against Leahy Clinic, and which was subsequently dismissed. You may remember Mr. Muniz was expelled from the House last Friday after an exchange involving himself and National Security Minister Wayne Keynes. Junior Minister of Legal Affairs Michael Scott earlier this week expressed concern about the cost of that legal matter and the implications it could have for this country's relationship with the U.S., as well as Mr. Muniz's handling of sensitive documents linked to that case in his former capacity as Attorney General. Mr. Muniz declined to comment on Mr. Scott's comments, indicating any response from him would be made inside the parliamentary chamber. And Bermuda has been taking part in a major tsunami practice alert involving 48 countries and territories. It's an annual exercise aimed at testing how quickly warnings can be disseminated, carried out in conjunction with the Emergency Measures Organization. So are we really at risk of a tsunami here in Bermuda? Hal Davis has been finding out.
Even high seawalls were no protection in Japan in 2011. This was a major tsunami, killing around 16,000 people. It's to guard against such devastation that there's an annual regional tsunami drill in the Caribbean, with Bermuda taking part. Key to this role on the island is the Bermuda Weather Service. It gets the first warnings of tsunamis. But with none on this scale ever recorded here, are people really at risk?
They are. It is a low probability event, but it is a high impact event. And so it's very important that the community are aware of this. And we go through this exercise every year to make sure that all our sort of directives are in place and that we follow our procedures. Everyone has their standard operating procedures, their SOPs in place so that they know how to react in terms of businesses and obviously the public as well have a sense of this threat, albeit a small one.
Today, the staff at the service, in conjunction with similar organisations across another 47 countries and territories, receive a mock warning of an earthquake off Barbados. The exercise assumes the quake has caused a tsunami, enabling the BWS to practice disseminating the information. This isn't assuming a huge tsunami today, but even smaller waves could cause significant damage to Bermuda.
It's unlikely we're going to get a tsunami, but it is on the radar. It's more likely we're going to get a smaller wave rather than a really big wave. But even a wave of 2 or 3 feet, when it hits the shore, can have 3 or 4 times the run-up, so we could be having a 9, 10, 12-foot wave. And although that doesn't sound that high, it's a very powerful wave that keeps going. So we're going to have some infrastructure damage. We're going to have some injuries. We may or may not have a few deaths, but the injuries are going to be overwhelming the medical services.
In the event of a tsunami, the Weather Service uses a number of ways of getting the message out. Its website, TV channels, the media and police, while the government would also play a key role in making sure people know. But some experts warn that might not be enough. Bigger countries like the United States have a much more comprehensive system to warn the public about possible disasters.
We don't have any national alerting system. So quite often now the radio stations, if people were to be listening, are either manned remotely or staffed remotely, so it's difficult to get a message out to them, especially at night when everybody's either off or sleeping. So the only way to get the message out would be to have a national alert system, similar to what they have in the States, getting messaging out. But if you look at other countries, we're not alone at this. I mean, the United Kingdom does not have a national alert system. The US is one of the few countries that does.
Also of potential concern is that we have an incomplete picture of the seabed around Bermuda, the shape of which directly affects tsunamis.
We don't have any sort of really good, detailed island and platform-wide bathymetry mapping, that is the seafloor mapping around the coastline and down to the deep ocean for Bermuda. That's necessary to underpin any tsunami modeling, or indeed any storm surge modeling or coastal inundation modeling that we might need.
So some worrying aspects to today's practice drills. But it's important to stress the underlying message from scientists. It's possible Bermuda could have a major tsunami, but it's highly unlikely anytime soon. And even small ones have only been seen 6 or 7 times in the island's entire recorded history. So there's no need to rush to the lighthouse just yet. Hal Davis, Bermuda Broadcasting News.
The government tonight moving to clarify the process required for all security guards to be licensed according to law. The deadline for guards to be licensed as required by the Security Guard Act 1974 is March 31st. Such is the issue that Wayne Keynes, the National Security Minister, today reminded the public of the process that can be taken for security guards to be licensed.
Stakeholders are reminded that not only security guards that are trained through an approved program that must be gazetted as such by the Commissioner of Police can be licensed. There are 2 options to meet the training requirement before March 31st. Number 1, presently the Bermuda College offers a program approved by the Commissioner of Police. The program equips successful participants to train others and should serve as a guide for the minimal standards to which training for security guards should be provided. It should be noted that the Bermuda College course is an option provided to mitigate cost for providing training in other circumstances. Alternatively, where security guard companies have a training program of their own, details of those programs should be provided for review of the Commissioner of Police. Providing the program meets the minimum standard required for training, it will be approved as having met the requirements for the Bermuda Security Standard.
Once again, licensing of private investigators and security guards is required by law. If you are not licensed, then you are unable to work in this field after the end of the month. Well, we have more news for you after this short break. Stay with us.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
The Department of Youth, Sport, and Recreation presents Victorious, Today's Girls, Tomorrow's Future, a celebration of females in sports. Under the distinguished patronage of the Honorable Premier, E. David Burt JP MP, the 37th Annual Sports Awards celebration will be held on Saturday, March 17th at the Fairmont Southampton Resort's Mid-Ocean Amphitheater, starting at 7 p.m. Tickets are $15 and available at the Department of Youth, Sports, and Recreation, located on the 3rd floor of the Craig Appen House, number 8 Wesley Street, Hamilton. For more information, call 295-0855.
Welcome back. Police Commissioner Michael De Silva and retired Assistant Commissioner Carlton Adams were honored recently at Buckingham Palace. Mr. Adams received the Member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, or MBE, for outstanding service to the community. Mr. De Silva received the Queen's Police Medal for distinguished service. Mr. Adams joined the police service in 1968 and retired in 2009, while Mr. De Silva began his service in 1985. His Royal Highness Prince Charles presided over the ceremonies. High-speed motorcycle cops in a new roundabout to navigate. 2 good reasons to take extra care on the roads, as Diane Brewer explains in this report.
Motorists are urged to be extra careful when navigating a new roundabout on the outskirts of the city. The Ministry of Public Works installed the new roundabout at the junction of Serpentine Road and Cemetery Road to enhance traffic flow and improve safety. Workmen were seen today adding some finishing touches when our cameraman Kyle McNeil took this footage. The roundabout is similar to the structure at St. John's Road and Woodlands Road, and essentially traffic will move through the new junction in the same way. Motorists must give way to traffic approaching to the right of the lane they are using, as they would at any other roundabout. Drivers on the roundabout have right-of-way over any vehicles approaching from the left. The ministry underscores the need for care and caution as motorists navigate the new roundabout. Staying on the topic of road safety, police motorcyclists will be in training through the end of this month, sometimes traveling at high speed. They will ride in groups of 3, often with lights flashing and sirens blaring. Riders in training will be wearing reflective yellow vests, making them easy to identify. Police say motorists who come across the police bike should give way and exercise extra caution.
And that was Diane Brewer reporting. Now let's head over to the AccuWeather headquarters for the latest.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you this AccuWeather forecast here on ZBM. Kind of a cool day out there. We've had that breeze from the west, an active wind. We've been stuck in the low 60s for the bulk of the day. Our cold front is now to the east. We do have some instability, and when we talk about that, we're talking about little rising motions in the atmosphere that often breed these clouds and maybe a stray sprinkle, but by far the most widespread rain is out of here, and it's been gone for quite some time. So we're just kind of left in a cooler and breezy weather pattern. Only 6 61, and really that's where we've been for the balance of the afternoon. Low 60s, humidity hanging out between 60 and 65%. The wind is the real deal, around 20 to 25 knots, and that's dictating our weather and the experience when you step outside. It is producing larger waves. On the inside, we have 2 to 4 footers, but on the outside, especially the west-facing beaches, which is on the west side of Somerset and Dockyard, we have 8 to 16 footers out there, so not the best boating weather. Again, there may be a few spotty sprinkles, but the most predominant weather overnight will be just partly cloudy and downright windy. Temperatures barely budging. We might lose another degree or two. So we have a small craft warning for tonight, but tomorrow that escalates to a gale warning as those big waves and that active wind will continue to batter the western side of the island. High tide coming up soon, 8:25 tonight. Low tide for the night owls around 2:37 a.m. We'll have high tide early tomorrow. Low tide in the mid-afternoon. But again, boating weather leaves a lot to be desired. That has been the theme of the month so far. And that kayaking trip on the ocean, that sea kayaking, might be best done on the inside as opposed to the unexposed or the more exposed beaches on the west side. So tomorrow, sun, a few clouds, brief spotty showers. They're not going to last long. The wind will keep things moving along, and we should see a nice rebound temperature-wise, a little warmer tomorrow, back into the upper 60s. Gateway forecast, the eastern part of North America, much quieter than it was earlier this week. Toronto, chilly. Temperatures just down a bit, maybe 5 to 10 degrees below average in New York and Boston. Atlanta's recovering nicely, back up to 70. Miami, upper 70s. That looks nice. Now, across the pond into London, showers and a little more spring-like, mid-50s there, about 12, 13 degrees Celsius. And then down into the Caribbean, we have a few showers into Jamaica, but we're drying out nicely in Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago. Both look good. No tropical concerns at this point in the game here. Still have a few months before we get into hurricane season. We won't worry about that yet. So we do have a few brief showers on Friday, warmer but still windy. Bad boating conditions still. Saturday, nicer weather, a little cooler out there, but the waves remain agitated. Look out for a few Sunday showers. The best boating weather will come on Monday with a partly to mostly cloudy sky, 65, and the winds will relax by then. Tuesday, clouds will begin to increase by Tuesday night, and Wednesday, look for the return of some showers out there. Thanks for being with us. Have a good one.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
All my life is changing every day, in every possible way. And then I open up and see the person falling here is me. 'Cause you're a dream to me.
Made with care, handled with care, delivered with care. That's what dreams are made of.
I'm Michaela and this is Taking Off. Everyone knows we are busy building the new airport terminal, but did you know that we've done renovations on the existing one? The current facility was in pretty bad shape, so we managed to get a few things done to elevate the customer experience. The entire passenger terminal now has new carpeting and much of the water damage has been repaired. There's new signage and new ceiling tiles, and the space looks much better thanks to a few coats of fresh paint. The roof has been scraped and repainted. Additionally, the terminal is cooler due to new shading installed on the windows. This lowers the temperature a few notches without increasing the air conditioning bill. And finally, LED lighting fixtures have been installed, thus lowering electricity costs and ensuring that our airport terminal is more environmentally friendly. Overall, we've spruced up the existing facility to provide you, the customer, with a much better experience as we await our new world-class passenger terminal in 2020. See you next time.
Community leaders are inviting the public to participate in a series of events in recognition of the Elders' Global Walk Together campaign, founded by the late Nelson Mandela. As a group of independent global leaders known as the Elders mark their 10th anniversary, they embark on a year-long campaign to continue Nelson Mandela's legacy by supporting civil society on issues of peace, health, justice, and equality, which will be highlighted here in Bermuda. Glenn Fubler of Imagine Bermuda and other individuals have created the Walk Together Bermuda campaign to spark conversations locally.
On this coming Sunday, March 18th, we'll be having our maiden Walk Together in Bermuda. This is going to be a stroll down memory lane. It starts here on the steps of the original Supreme Court in Bermuda, because it was here in 1835 that a group of Bermudians, just 1 year after emancipation, a group of Bermudians, mostly people of color, but also some white people, collaborated to make sure that a group of American slaves were liberated. You're going to come out and listen to Ben Adamson, a human rights commissioner, on Sunday to hear about that. It starts at 4 o'clock. But we'll also be touching bases within the North Hamilton area, a variety of highlights of that same rich heritage, that heritage, as Helen talks about, the fact that Bermudians used to rally together around their common interest and the interests of those especially marginalized.
The third annual Bermuda Triangle Cup tournament will feature an elite men's event this year with Ontario League One champions Oakville Blue Devils touring the island for 2 matches.
Calvin Blankendow from Bermuda Sports Management gives us the dates of matches and who they will face.
The first match will take place on April the 19th at the National Sports Center versus a national team select. And then on the 22nd, we have a very exciting feature. There will be a Premier All-Star League select, similar to the MLS All-Star match. Players will be selected from the various teams in the Premier Division and First Division, and the coaching staff will come out of the Premier Division and First Division as well. The player selection will be based on the final team rankings in the BFA 2017-2018 season. So even though the season is coming to an end, the players have something to play for to receive maximum allocation in these matches.
Maurice Lowe, the Bermuda Football Association Technical Director, is pleased because it allows the team more football opportunities.
One of the challenges or long-standing challenges that we had is to have matches regularly and consistently. As everyone can see now, we're getting matches very, very frequently, back-to-back matches. So that gives us an opportunity to be able to build on our performances in these matches.
The 2018 Ariel Reed Bermuda International Rugby Sevens will take place at the National Sports Center this coming Friday and Saturday. Tom Healy explains how many Bermuda teams will take part and who some of the favorites are for the tournament.
We'll have a high school division where we have 4 local teams. We will have a female college division where the local ladies will also be playing, and we also have the men's team playing. So that's 6 Bermuda teams who'll be playing rugby sevens down here this weekend. It's really it's a real honour really to have such high caliber teams come to Bermuda. Teams like Notre Dame, Kutztown will be one of the tournament favourites, Stony Brook and St. Joe's. So some teams like that are returning for the 3rd year, which shows the success that we've had, and we hope to continue that in years to come.
Dalwood Middle School have set themselves up to defend their crown on the first day of the Bermuda School Sports Federation's Middle School Track and Field Championships that took place at the National Sports Center yesterday. The reigning champions have opened up an impressive 100-point lead over their closest rivals, Sand Secondary Middle School. 2 records fell on the day by T.N. Tatum Middle School athletes. Sancho Smith was the first to register a new record when he leaped 1.76 meters in the over 13 boys high jump. He eclipsed the mark of 1.75 meters set by Kyle Otterbridge, who represented Dalwood Middle School back in 2000. Smith looks set to win the champion boy crown as he blazed his way to the top qualifying position in both the 400 and 800 meter races. The T.N. Tatum over 13 girls 100 meter relay team also broke a record when they crossed the line in a time of 52.63. Bermuda hockey umpire Donovan Simmons was back in action on day 3 of the Continental Qualifier for the 2018 Youth Olympic Games going on in Argentina. Simmons officiated the match between host Argentina and the Dominican Republic that saw Argentina win 12-0. Meanwhile, on local soil, 10 goals were scored in the latest round of the Bermuda Bowl Hockey League going on at the PCC Hockey Rink. In the opener, the Winnipeg Jets defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2. The Maple Leafs held a 1-0 lead at the end of the first period after Christopher Merritt scored. Jeremy Esty leveled the score at 1-1 with the only goal in the second period. The third period saw Nate House put the Toronto Maple Leafs back in front, but the Winnipeg Jets would get late goals from Matt Benson and Shane Marchette to pull off the win. The second match needed a shootout to get a winner as the Montreal Canadiens defeated the Calgary Flames 3-2.
Bermuda Netball Association Makeup Senior League doubleheader took place at Bernard Park last evening. The Phoenix Heat defeated the North Phillies Lady Rams Red 56-24. Danielle Reyna led the Phoenix Heat to victory with 49 goals, while Arkita Fubla added 7 goals. Jatura Trott scored all 24 goals for the North Phillies Lady Rams Red. In the other match, the Storm defeated Robin Hood 31-15. The Storm would get 24 goals from Kamala Nazir, while Naomi Taylor scored 13 goals for Robin Hood. A total of 223 points were scored in a Bermuda Basketball Winter League sponsored by One doubleheader. In Game 1, the Paget Flyboys defeated the Southampton Thundercats 74-46. Dion Easton led the Paget Flyboys to victory with a game-high 31 points. He also had 7 rebounds and 2 block shots, while Jason Lowe scored 16 points for the Southampton Thundercats. He had 6 rebounds and 1 steal. Game 2 saw the Hamilton Parish Rockets defeat the Hamilton City Twisters 66-37. James Finnegan and his Florida Tech men's tennis teammates would see their 5-game winning streak snapped as they fell 7-2 to Bluefield State. Finnegan and his doubles partner Ricardo Corona went down in the number 2 doubles position 8-6. Finnegan, then playing in the number 2 singles position, fell in straight sets 6-love, 6-2. Second Spring Senior Bowling League action at the Work Lanes, it saw the Last Pin defeat the Islanders 3-1. The Newcomers defeated the Pin Splitters 4-0, while the Blue Angels defeated the Last Minute 3-1. The match between Olding Kicking and the Drifters ended 2-2. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
You can count on us.
Red or white seedless grapes, only $3.99 per pound. Fresh Purdue chicken leg quarters, only $1.79 per pound. Your choice of ShopRite vegetables, 14.5-ounce tin, hot price 99 cents. Scott toilet tissue, 4 rolls, only $4.99. Purex laundry detergent, 50-ounce bottle, only $4.79. All stores open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Imagine your home working as hard as you, harnessing the power of the sun. While you work, we work. Think solar with BAE. Imagine more power, more often with BAE.
Bermuda's only fiber to the home network is here, thanks to Digicel. But what does this mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. This means you'll get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway. You can be one of the first to enjoy it. Call us on 500-5000.
Most complained food prices are too high. Well, maybe you've considered starting to grow your own. Gary Foster Skelton got close to nature at the weekend as some of the island's farming community gathered to share their knowledge of how to toil the soil. And the kids got involved too.
Lots of orchid. White orchid. Yeah.
In the age of iPads and Xboxes,
you know what those ones are? Oh, black-eyed peas.
Can we still be true to our roots?
Ideal place you want for transplanting most of these seedlings is up to the cotyledon. Many people don't know how to grow, food crops anymore.
But at the Kaleidoscope Arts Foundation last weekend, down-to-earth islanders sought to replant such seeds of knowledge.
It's an opportunity to educate even the littlest of green fingers and to ask the question,
can you dig it?
The seed exchange has been going on for several years now. It started with a very small group of friends that would meet at people's houses or in coffee shops. But now we wanted to make it a bigger event and invite a lot of people. And so it's really a community building event around gardening knowledge and learning how to grow your own food, and with getting the kids involved in the garden, because they're the ones that are going to have to learn how to grow their own food in the future.
Smell that.
Ooh.
It smells like
inside it looks like vanilla.
Adults were educated as well.
So what I would do is I would take my tweezers and I would actually pull that just green yellow thing off. Tomatoes don't really pollinate well once it gets above 73 degrees.
You could really get a taste for the wildlife.
So these are the oatmeal raisin cookies made with dandelion flour, and it has raw cocoa in it, tea made from the dry papaw leaf and rosemary.
And you could get your creative juices flowing.
I was just showing the children what you could use around the island that's so invasive. You could pick it and it's not even missed from anywhere. You could create baskets, you could create angels.
The hope is that events like this will encourage both young and old to get their gardening gloves on.
They can go home and continue this re-education process, and everybody together, the whole family, learning how to grow food again, because it's really important if you get the kids involved in the garden and the adults get involved in the garden.
And the kids really were involved in the garden. Gary Foster Skelton for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
The next seed exchange will take place again in September at Kaleidoscope, and a new Bermuda Seed Savers Facebook page is on its way. And that's our broadcast for this evening. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.